This project is for my toughest client and my biggest supporter. This project is for my wife. I'm coming up to 12 months of YouTube, and I know that I would not be where I am today without her support. But that's enough of the soppy stuff. Let's get into the project. Today, we are gonna build a tripod lamp. My wife is absolutely obsessed with ambient lighting, so I think that's the perfect gift and the perfect way to say thank you. Now, to me, a lamp is one of those pieces of furniture that can really make or break a space. And I really want to push myself to build something artistic and sculptural. And this piece needs to tick a few boxes. It needs to be tall and it needs to be impactful, but it needs to tuck neatly into a corner. So I don't want it to have a huge footprint, but I still want it to make a statement. And I plan on using an Edison bulb. So the shade needs to have the right amount of balance of diffusing light whilst showing off the bulb. And usually when I build pieces of furniture and I bring them in the house, the first thing my wife says, "Ooh, we can put a plant on there." And straight away, I'm super protective of the piece that I've just built and I say, "No way." This time we're gonna say yes. So I need to incorporate a place for a plant. And with all that in mind, let's get stuck into the milling. So I've selected a piece of jarrah that I think is fitting. So I've gone ahead and dressed it up in the thicknesser, and then I've taken it over to the table saw where I've cut it into strips. Now I needed 6 strips for the legs at 20 millimeters wide, and the remainder of the piece I cut into 15 millimeter strips, which will form the spokes on the shade. And once I had all my strips milled up, I went to my slab pile and I selected a slab that will form the top and the bottom of the shade. Now, when I say the top and bottom of the lampshade, the entire thing is going to be made out of wood, and the top and the bottom will actually form part of the structure. And I know what you're probably thinking. If I have a sealed top and bottom and I attach all the spokes to it, how am I going to get the bulb in and out? Well, that's a very good question, and that is something that I'm still working on. But like most problems, the solution usually presents itself when the time is right. But for now, I'm going to focus on cutting and shaping these 2 circles. I'm going to start by rough cutting them out on the bandsaw and getting fairly close to the line, and then I'll take them over to my belt sander and fine tune them up to the line. And like most of my projects, I had no idea which direction this was going to take me in, but putting this round over gave me time to contemplate that, and I decided that the next step would be making some little tabs to secure the legs to. And being this is a tripod lamp, we're going to need 3 legs. So I got my digital angle finder out and I set it to 120 degrees, and then I went and made 3 reference marks at those degrees. And then it was time to make those little tabs, and all I did was took one of those strips that I'd cut to 15 millimeters over to the miter saw, and I cut 3 little tabs all at the same size. From there, I just gave them a little bit of rounded shape on the belt sander, and then I could start thinking about how I was going to secure them to this circle. But before I get ahead of myself and secure these, I need to put a hole in the center of each one, and this will allow the legs to attach to them later on. And a handy little tip, anytime you're marking out locations for holes or anything like that on really small pieces that are fiddly to sand, put a bit of masking tape on, transfer your mark onto that, then all you're gonna do is peel the tape off, no sanding required. And then once I had my holes drilled, I could go forward and finalize the location of all these tabs on that circle piece. Now I knew I didn't want screws visible, so I started off by drilling a countersink that the screw head can sit into, and then I drilled a through hole all the way through. The other thing to consider was the location of these holes. Remember how I drilled a little hole in that tab? Well, I don't want the screw to go through that piece of wood and into that hole. So I was mindful to offset them either side of that hole. Once I had all the holes drilled in my base plate or that circle piece, I could then double side stick tape all those little tabs in their final position, and then using my brad point bit, I could transfer that hole using the drill bit and the mallet to mark its exact location. Then I could separate them from that circle, take them back over to the drill press and drill the holes in the exact location. And then it was just a matter of screwing them in place, never to be removed again. And now that we've got the base part of the lamp sorted out, we need to turn our attention to how we're going to get this bulb in and out. And at this point, I still wasn't 100% sure how I was going to achieve this, but I knew there had to be a hole in the top. So the first thing I did was chucked up a really big hole saw bit into my drill press and just cut a hole in it. And then once I had that hole cut, I realized that the piece that I cut out would make a perfect little lid. So I put a little round over on everything and shaped it, and then I decided to put some little dowel feet on it, drill some corresponding holes, and rather than it just being a functional lid, it actually turned out really nice and became one of the focal points, accidentally, so happy days. But we're not finished yet. Now that we've locked in the concept, it's time to execute it. The process was pretty simple. Once I had those little dowels tapped into that circle, I trimmed them all to a uniform size, and then I went forward and marked locations for them to sit in, and I'll create little recesses using a brad point drill bit and the drill press. The only thing I wasn't happy about with this lid was there was a little hole that was left over from the hole saw, so I just tapped a little dowel in there, and that'll act as a little handle to take the lid on and off. Now, I wasn't 100% sure how I wanted to proceed with the lampshade, so I put that aside and contemplated things and moved on to the legs. One thing I knew that I wanted to do was continue the circular theme that I'd established on that lid and carry it out through the remainder of the project. So I went forward and marked some locations to drill some Forstner holes in all of these legs. Now, you're probably wondering, if you're building a tripod lamp, why do you have 6 legs? That's because each leg is going to be constructed out of 2 pieces. This might not make a lot of sense, but bear with me and it will in a minute. And yes, in case you're wondering, it did take me a really long time to drill all those Forstner holes, but that's okay. I think it was definitely worth it. And once I had them all drilled, I went back over to the router table and proceeded to put a round over on everything, including those holes, which also took forever. And after a little bit of sanding and TLC on these leg components, the next step was to cut some little tabs in order to glue these leg sections together, turning them from 6 pieces into 3 pieces. Even though this build is for my wife, I want to take a second to acknowledge your part in this. I could not do this without your support, guys, and I am absolutely humbled every time I get to make one of these videos. So thanks for sticking with me, thanks for supporting me, and I really appreciate everything. Now, I wanted to keep these legs really open in their design, so I just went with 3 small spaces and put a dab of glue on each side, allowing me to stick these 2 pieces together. It'll be enough to act as a temporary clamp, and then I'll come back later and I will put some dowels in there. But while we're waiting for those legs to dry, we'll turn our attention back to the shade. Now, it's time to cut all these spokes. So I took the remainder of all those 15mm wide pieces that I cut earlier on the table saw over to the miter saw and chopped them all up into equal length pieces. This is the bit that was the most challenging for me. I'm not strong when it comes to maths, and working out the positioning or the spacing between all these spokes was really challenging. In the end, all I did was work out the diameter of that circle and then transfer that measurement onto my bench and then lay out all the spokes until I had them evenly spaced. This took a little while, but like I said, I'm not good with maths and there's more than one way to solve a problem. After that, I went through and I marked a location to drill some holes that will allow me to attach all these spokes to the top and bottom part of the lamp. And yes, just in case you're wondering, I did take note of the spacing and I did make an actual spacer, so when it comes time to screwing these to the top and bottom of the lamp, it's much easier. And because I'd already drilled so many holes in those legs and I had so many holes to drill in all these spokes, I decided that it was easier to tape them into bundles and just drill holes straight through them. But before I go getting ahead of myself and attaching all these spokes, I need to drill a hole for the actual lamp hardware. And now it's time to put all these components for the lampshade together. And I was super nervous to do this. I wasn't sure if these were all going to line up as I'd planned them to. And seeing as how I'm about to go and drill a bunch of holes in the top and the bottom part of this lampshade, I was super nervous of making a mistake and ending up with just a whole heap of random holes drilled in it. But I took my time and just decided to get stuck into the process, and it actually worked out really well. And the most challenging ones were the first couple. But you'll notice here that on the first 3 that I'm installing, I've put a couple of spacer blocks on them, just glued in place, and this is what allows me to set the height of the lamp. Once I get those in place, I can sit it on its side, and then using the spacer block, the rest of them are super easy to install. Even though this is a tripod lamp, and a tripod in its nature is really, really stable, I didn't want the legs to be able to move around and be all flippity floppity. So I wanted to make a little brace to lock them into place. This is also going to double as that plant stand that I'd mentioned earlier. And if my wife wants to, she can put a little pothos or a climbing plant or something and weave it in and out of the legs. And I think that'll be really cool. It was super easy to construct. It was just a little circle of jarrah with a couple little arms dowed in place that will sit between all the legs. And while I'm doing dowel work, I'm also going to go back and put those dowels in those legs, in those little spaces, to lock those in permanently. Now we've got all our components made, so it's time to start assembling. Now, attaching these legs to this lampshade was actually really cumbersome. I'm not going to put glue on these dowels in case I do ever need to pull the shade off the legs. It'll just be as simple as knocking the dowels out. If I glued them in, it would be an absolute nightmare to get them out due to the fact that I can't get my drill in there. So by having them just tapped in, they're easy to get out if I do need to service this thing. And now the only thing left to do in the construction phase of this lamp is to install this little plant stand. I did a very similar process of just putting it in place, and I drilled some through holes and then I put some through dowels. Now I am going to put glue in these because I don't want these to move. And by gluing them in place, this will just give the lamp some rigidity. And that wraps up the construction side of things, and we can move on to the oiling process. Now for this, I'm just going to use my good old faithful Gillies orange oil. I get lots of questions about this particular finish, and if you're interested in getting some yourself, I do have a link in my description. Yes, it's an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you any more, but it gives me a little kickback and allows me to keep doing this. And yes, if you're wondering, I did regret not pre-finishing a lot of this lamp. Getting in the inside of those spokes and the inside of those legs was way more work than it should have been. So if I ever do this process again, I will pre-finish the inside of everything. I'm happy to report that my wife absolutely loved this lamp, and I hope you did too. Thanks for hanging out, and if you're not already, go and hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next one, legends. Peace.